You're listening to a Frequency Podcast Network production.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Welcome to Tuesday. My name is Brock.
I'm Dalby.
Had a random thought. Went by Best Buy the other day and I saw like 4 employees just outside vaping. Like nobody smokes cigarettes anymore, it seems like.
I saw someone in front of a Best Buy about a week ago and like just stand right by the doors. They do not go far.
Yeah. I was wondering though, like people who vape, if you run out of vape, can you bum a vape off of someone? I know that's a stupid thought, but like anyone who smokes cigarettes, what is it? It's common knowledge that a cigarette is $1. It's a loony.
100%.
If I want a hit of your vape, what does that go for?
What's the conversion rate? What's the fee to top me up with your vape juice?
Well, even that, like, could you be like, dude, I'm running dry. Like, you got any juice for me? Like,
yeah. The modern day trailer park boys, juice, let's go.
Can I get a cloud real quick? Like, is that how that works?
Because I would assume, like, just for hygiene's sake, you would rather give somebody some fluid as opposed to like, well, here, I'm trying to pick
weird.
all the wrong words here. As opposed to being like, oh, here, just take a hit off my vape.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't want to share that around.
I don't know, because, I mean, I've seen people just be like at parties like, yo, let me get a hit of your vape, but like, if a stranger came up to you, what would the going rate? Would it be more than a dart?
I don't know.
Because I've also seen people, if you give a toonie, you usually get like 3 darts.
You know what I mean?
Kind
People
of thing?
cut you a deal like, oh, here, this will get you through the
What is
day.
the going rate for a hit off of someone's vape right now?
I don't know. It's honestly, and also like, what's the procedure? Like, do you have to have that thing on you? You take the vape juice out and you prying apart Buddy's vape to give him a couple of squirts. He's watching like, hey, you can squirt a little harder than that. Come on now.
Does it depend on your nic level, like the nicotine level on there too?
Oh, I didn't even think about that yet, because those are all different, right? So even like, it's like when you would be hard up for a cigarette and you'd hit somebody up and they'd say yes, but then they'd give you a menthol. You're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Dude, I'll suck your dick, so let me suck your vape.
Jesus Christ.
People out here struggling, man.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Did you watch the home run derby last night?
I didn't watch the home run derby, which is weird for me because that's usually the highlight of the baseball season.
But I'm assuming you saw.
I did definitely see 4-time Grammy nominee Ingrid Andress sing the anthem.
I'd never heard of this lady until yesterday. Also, nobody cares. I don't even know who won the home run derby yesterday.
No clue.
I watched the start of it, and all that everyone is talking about online, if you haven't seen it yet, is the national anthem being called one of the worst national anthem renditions of all time.
It's got to be top 3.
I know it's early. Prepare your ears for this.
And the rockets spread glare, the bombs bursting air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there.
Damn.
The courtesy cheers there.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Also love the guy who's got to set off the pyro to Rocket's Red Glare.
We're not done.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave
That part was okay.
o'er the land of
Here it comes.
and the home of the brave.
Now we all know how Donald Trump's ear felt the other day. Is it me, or like it almost sounds like they were playing it backwards?
Yeah. When you play a record backwards and it gets that kind of warbly wobbly
You hear
sound
the
to
devil?
it.
Like,
Yeah. That was the devil coming out in her anthem.
Big oof.
That's why she's a 4-time Grammy nominee and a 0-time Grammy winner.
Oh, man. See, the problem with the national anthem is everybody always tries to put their own unique spin. I mean, you saw Fergie a couple of years ago at the NBA All-Star Game. It was the same thing for her. They were showing close-ups of the players, and they're trying not to laugh.
That's the thing. Like, with the Canadian national anthem, I know it note for note better than any song because you used to sing it in school, right? And if you just stick to the formula that you've been using for decades, then you're fine. But you're right, it's these pop singers and country singers that go up and they try and like throw their own little waves in there and try and make it unique. Well, that sure was unique.
Yeah. I am very interested to see what her ticket sales are like after this.
Well, that's just it. I mean, hey, everybody has a bad night. There's 18 guys out on the field that are about to play a game that know what it's like to have a bad night but still be very talented. But it's just hard to marry the idea between that person and someone who makes a lot of money at singing.
Well, what I was going to say is, like, do you think they go up with people, like, wanting to see her bomb? Or do you think they go down now with people being like, I don't want to go to that?
I don't see, because the thing is, like, the American Idol syndrome taught us that we love bad singers. But she doesn't sound like that at her concerts. Like, if you buy a ticket to go see her...
No, maybe.
I feel like with, like, the awards and stuff like that, she must just use a lot of auto-tune and stuff.
Well, anyone can sound good on a record is the biggest thing, right?
That's just it. But
that
I mean,
sounded like karaoke is what it sounded like.
That sounded like bad karaoke.
That sounded like a drunk girl doing karaoke is what it sounded like.
Yeah, and went back to her table and told her, I nailed that.
Well, that's
so
the other
good.
thing, too, is, like, do you think her team, like, immediately as she finished, they were like, that was amazing. Like, oh, you did so good. Do you think she stayed at the game? That's the bigger question.
I would definitely want to go home.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think because you got to know. In that moment, she's got to know that this isn't going the way that they planned.
I'd be like, I need 2 strong drinks quick and we're going back to the hotel. Please, get me the hell out of here.
Just chugging 2 stadium beers and going for a walk.
Safe to say she won't be asked to do any national anthems anytime soon.
Although, I mean, now it opens up a storyline if she can figure it out. Come back in a couple years, a little redemption. America loves an underdog.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Not this one.
I don't know about that one. I think there's probably too many veterans that are like, what the hell is going on here? What are you doing to my anthem?
What have you done to my country?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
You know, my thing with the home run derby is I love it. I love watching guys rip dingers all night.
Who wants to see me sock some dingers?
But why doesn't Major League Baseball do what the NBA and the NHL do with the players' skill contest? I feel like they could do so much more than just a home run derby.
Right, like the home run derby could still be like the crown jewel of the event. But you're right, they don't really have a skills competition other than just home runs.
I mean, fastest pitch right away.
Right? Oh, easy, yeah.
That would be awesome. You could even have a third baseman throw to first, like an accuracy thing. You could do outfielders as well, like hitting home plate.
Yeah. Trying to hit targets, almost like in hockey. You've got like the targets in the corners of the net.
Yeah.
Let a guy from third base try and hit a foam target with a baseball.
Or you could even do time trials as they go around the horn with the ball, kind of thing.
Yeah. Or honestly, even just fastest runner. Like,
Yeah.
Let a guy start at home plate. Start the clock and let him see how fast he can get around the bases.
I would watch the hell of that. Catchers throwing out guys. Right?
Yeah. That would be
cool.
another good one.
Honestly, a bunting contest. I'm pretty sure they do that in like that Japan league.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
where
know.
they put targets out on the field and you've got to like try and get as close to the bullseye as possible.
Yeah. I think honestly the best way to do it would be like shortest bunt. Shortest bunt wins.
Right.
As long as you stay in.
Yeah, it's got to be as close to the plate as possible, but within the fair and foul lines.
Someone just texted in manager tantrums.
Oh, who can cover home plate in dirt the fastest?
Or who can get kicked out the fastest.
Well, that's pretty easy. All you got to do is start ripping 3.825s.
Someone just texted in tobacco spitting contest. I mean, if you wanted to get in that, you could go long distance.
Yeah, accuracy.
Yeah.
Who can get the best?
Or yeah, it'd be gross, but a sunflower eating contest.
Oh my God. Do you go for like competitive eating rules, like who can get the most down?
That would honestly be the worst thing to watch, just hearing about
just shells everywhere.
I just feel like they need to add more to the home run derby, because honestly, like, I get halfway through the night and the best part is watching those kids in the outfield get drilled with the ball.
Here I thought it was going to be this really like sweet, because I've always seen those kids, even when I was a kid.
They eat it, man.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be them. Now that I'm a dad, I'm like, oh, I hope my kids get to do something cool like that. And your thought is, I love when they get hit.
So much pressure. Dude, imagine telling all your friends at school, you're like, I'm going to be in the outfield at the home run derby.
Oh
like,
my God, that's so cool. You're the coolest kid in class.
I remember
Wow.
as a kid, like, playing at intermission at a Hamilton Bulldogs game or whatever, and I thought that was, like, the biggest deal in the world. But, like, I mean, for these kids, it's like catching a pop fly is easy on paper, but anyone who plays slow pitch can tell you, it's not as easy as it looks sometimes.
Well, yeah, and like these kids are like 10 years old trying to catch pop flies from the best hitters in Major League Baseball. And they're looking up into the lights, the stadium's all lit up and stuff. There's a lot of reasons this could go wrong.
You know what's dumb is you can gamble on a lot of things. Why can't you gamble on how many kids are going to get picked off by balls?
Over under 3 kids in the outfield.
You should be able to pick a kid in the outfield and pick how many balls that he's going to catch.
Make them wear different colored shirts so you can bet on them like horses at the track.
Yeah. Kids either leaving like with a great memory or some serious trauma by the end of it.
Hey, why not both?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Seems like almost every day, if not every other day, there's a video of someone losing their mind on a plane. There's a new one coming from United Airlines. A flight had to make an emergency landing after a woman was caught on video biting a flight attendant.
Yo!
Yeah, here.
Biting where?
Here, watch this. If you want to see the video, text BITE to 762-555 or check the podcast links. But look at my screen here.
Yo! Whoa!
She ripped his shirt.
She bit his shirt.
Like, you know how, like, flight attendants and pilots, they've got, like, that little, I don't know what you call it, on their shoulders,
little
crest, I guess you might call it.
Epaulets or whatever they're called.
Yeah. She almost, like, rips, like, that whole thing right off. Like,
And dude, it's a wild move because she goes in for the bite and she comes up with fabric in her mouth and just goes...
I don't know if you realize, watch it one more time. She's got the zip cuffs on, too.
So this is not, oh my God, this is not the beginning of this situation.
No.
She has already been deemed enough of a problem that she has her wrists bound, and she still manages to get a bite off.
I love the dude taking the video.
Wildin'. I think that's a fair description for someone who bites someone's shirt off.
Dude, biting someone is such a little kid move.
It really is.
I don't even know if you could say that's like a primal instinct or...
Well, I mean, you know, I think the only argument I could make for it being sort of a primal instinct is that you do see fighters will go for a bite every now and again.
I mean, yeah, she went full Tyson.
Yeah. Even some other, like, UFC fighters have been kind of warned for, like, getting the teeth in and around there.
It's a risky move to do in a fight because what if you go too deep and you get a taste for it? It could happen.
What if it awakens something?
You know,
in
like those people that have like pet wolves and they're like they can't get a taste for blood or else they'll go nuts kind of thing.
I love the idea that like this lady in some sort of random freak out on an airplane goes to bite the flight attendant, gets a little too deep, gets a drop on her tongue and goes, I need more.
I will say, it is a great way to end a fight. I mean, it ended the Mike Tyson-Holyfield fight. We've seen it end UFC fights before, like you said. I think if you ever catch yourself in a situation where you don't want to be in the fight anymore...
You just bite them.
You get a little nibble going.
That's true. Like, not that I'm a fighter.
It's going to end right away.
Not that I've been in many fights in my life, but if the person I'm squared off with goes to bite me... My instinct is not, all right, let's keep going. My instinct is you're too crazy for this to keep going.
You're messing with a literal animal here
That's
at that
just
point.
it.
Kind
like,
of thing.
if you've now bit me, you'll do anything.
Honestly, it's frowned upon for sure. Unethical fight technique, but I'd say biting and tickling need to be used more in fighting. If someone's fighting me, like, dude, if you get me in a headlock or something, I am going to tickle you. I'm going to give you the old taser in the rib cage or something. Nobody ever does that. Nobody ever thinks about that. It's like kicking someone in the nuts.
I just want to see like a UFC fight where they're barefoot. The guy's got like, he's got a leg, but he doesn't really have a traditional hold on it and just starts going.
Best way to get out of a fight. That or a purple nurple, honestly. Give an old titty twister real quick.
Just outside the bar, somebody said something, you got to defend your honor, and you just go right in.
Yeah, give him a wet willy.
Yo.
That would end a fight real. Because what's everyone's automatic reaction? What the hell, man?
No, I think if we're to fight and you give me a wet willy, I think it has the opposite reaction. I think you have now unlocked rage. If you put your wet finger in my ear, I'm not stopping.
Maybe a no-go in the dojo, but I'm saying, in the streets, no rules.
Out in these streets.
No rules.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
You guys were just talking about best ways to get out of a fight. It's very easy. You want to talk about a primal instinct? You go full Animal Planet. Just piss your pants. Trust me. It works.
We just got that message on the bad line. And the best part is 6 other people said the exact same thing on the text line.
A lot of you have thought about this before, that like, in case of emergency, just let it go.
Dude, I mean, if you can, it makes sense, right? Nobody wants to deal with that. I mean, if you can do a number 1, a number 2, or even, dude, if you rip some ass on someone.
That's true.
Right?
If you're in like a scuffle, like a close-up altercation, and you, especially, it doesn't even have to smell. It just has to be loud enough that they're scared of it.
I wonder if it's illegal, or it's probably frowned upon in like the UFC or jiu-jitsu or anything like that, to fart mid-fight.
I mean, how could you really even police it, right? Like some of the worst farts are quiet as hell. You're gonna tell the ref, he farted. Ref, he farted on me.
Just TKO by gagging them.
You can't maintain your tough guy image if you're like, oh, he farted.
I eat Taco Bell before every fight.
That's dangerous.
That's amazing.
Not all of those are going to be farts.
I do believe we've got friend of the show, Smiley, on the phone. Smiley, what's the best way to get out of a fight, my man?
Just pull down your pants or strip naked.
Yo, you know what? That's the move.
Honestly, if I'm standing across from a guy, we're doing the whole back and forth. You want to go? You want to go? Let's go. And he goes for his belt. I'm like, what? Hang on now. Hold up.
You can look a guy up on YouTube. He goes to like the Bronx and does that.
That's amazing. He challenges people to fights and takes his clothes off.
Oh yeah, he gets them all pissed off, and then they square up, and he just rips his pants off and stuff, and they're just like, whoa.
Hang on now.
Yeah. I mean, I've always heard there's the theory of some people that it's like if you sleep naked, that's the best if someone breaks into your house.
Absolutely, yeah. They are not prepared for a situation in which you confront them with no pants on.
I mean, I don't even mean to be crass right now, but like as a guy, if you could somehow like work yourself up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
That's a great way to get out of a fight.
Absolutely. It's intimidation, pure and simple. We also got this text from Nicole that said, going in for a kiss would end a fight really quick.
Yo.
You're circling, throwing hands with a guy, you just get in there a little...
Yeah. Start kissing on his neck. Start whispering sweet nothings in his ear as he's choking you out. Dude's choking you out. You go, harder, daddy.
Yeah, that's just... Someone else said that with hair. If someone pulls your hair, just moan. Yeah. That'll throw them off.
Give him a good, oh, yeah. Oh, that feels great.
This is the Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I'm super jealous. My dad was flying through Pearson to go back to Newfoundland the other day. He sent me a photo. He ran into Geddy Lee of Rush at the airport.
No way.
Yeah, he was just sitting at the same gate, like not even in a back like lounge or anything like that. He was just sitting there.
Celebrities are just like us.
Dude, my dad said he went up to him and he was like, talked to him for a bit. He said he was a really cool guy.
Just totally chill?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
The only thing my dad said is he got bummed out. He tried to make a joke. Because if you're a Rush fan, everyone knows that Rush has a song called YYZ, right?
Which is the Pearson airport code.
So my dad was like, it's really cool to meet the guy from Rush at YYZ. And he said he just nodded and went, yeah, nice to meet you.
I wonder if even in that moment, because Rush got a lot of songs, if maybe Geddy Lee like didn't get it.
He has to get it.
It's because the alternative is he's heard it so many times.
Me and my dad were joking, and it's like it's very rare that in life you see an artist essentially living their art.
True.
Like, it'd be like going to Bob Cajun and seeing someone from the hip there. Nickelback taking a photo, like...
Yeah, like seeing Blink-182 at a rock show.
Yeah. That's honestly the one that probably happens the most.
Yeah, I guess so. But seeing them, like, in the crowd.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're at the rock show.
I wonder if anyone ever caught, like, Glenn Fry checking out of, like, a Holiday Inn in California somewhere.
I bet he hated that.
Right? Anytime he was checking out of a hotel, like in California, he's just dreading it.
Anybody ever catch someone from Motley Crue in the boys' room? Just be like, you smoking in here?
I'm curious if there is a photo that exists of Dave Grohl holding a monkey wrench. If he's ever even used a monkey wrench in his life.
I would imagine after that song went famous, he was like, I can't do it. I can't even hold one of these things. Someone's going to see me.
Someone just texted in, Fred Durst in a rage room is what I want to see.
Breaking stuff.
Either that or I want to see him rolling down a hill.
That's right.
Just keep rolling.
But one day I do hope to catch Kim Mitchell going for a soda.
Yeah.
Catch him in like a Circle K or something
Dude,
like that.
if I ever see Kim Mitchell filling up a fountain pop, filling up a Polar Pop, I'm going to lose my mind.
That's the end of the day.
That would be the greatest thing of all time.
There's no follow-up
It's either that or what's the singer from Tool's name? What's that guy's name?
Maynard.
Maynard?
Yeah.
It'd be like seeing Maynard with like a bunch of turd all over his hands. Because of Stink Fist.
Yeah.
You get it? You get it?
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
I've had a number of flight attendants in the media complaining that apparently more and more passengers on airplanes are getting into their bare feet and wandering around the plane. So we're asking the question today, what is the worst place that you can be barefoot?
Well, I mean, I think you could just say downtown in general. People on subways.
That's any transportation hub. You mentioned earlier we were talking about like airports. You're talking about like people will like sleep on the floor and stuff like that. I've seen people just walking around Pearson barefoot. You just hear like their feet slapping on the floor. And
yeah.
It's just like, I see the little robot things coming around and buffing the floor. You couldn't pay me.
Yeah, I mean, even, dude, like, I've been in cabs with people before and they take their shoes off. And I'm like, please, just the smell of it. You know what the biggest one that actually grinds my gears? And I know I'm going to piss someone off here this morning. Stop taking your damn shoes off at the golf course. I don't know if it's just a me thing. I don't know why that drives me crazy when people play barefoot. Like, I get it. Everyone's like, oh, I like the feel of the grass on my feet.
Feel really rooted to the ground.
I've had an argument with a buddy before where I'm like, you have no grip. He's like, well, it's not affecting my game. And I'm like, it's just, I don't know. I've never seen Tiger Woods or Phil Mickelson take off their shoes and
even
just let it breathe.
John Daly, who's like the king of like kind of throwing out golf course etiquette, never once saw that man walk up to the tee box at a PGA event with his shoes back by his bag.
Yeah.
Like, just keep your shoes on.
Well, even my thing, too, is like your ball goes like out of bound. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to put your shoes back on. Keep your damn shoes on.
Right. Another one that drives me nuts is when you go, especially in the summertime specifically, you go to a movie, maybe you're trying to beat the heat, get into the AC, and you see somebody down the road take their shoes off and put their feet up on like the chair in front of them.
Let's get real. There's no reason to take your shoes off in public.
Yeah, honestly.
Can we just get ahead of that right now? If you're taking your shoes off in public, you have officially reached too much comfortability.
That's just it. You have developed too
You're not
much,
at home, okay?
You have developed too much main character energy. You need to back that off. Like, the idea of taking your shoes off and putting your feet up on anything that's not in your home, that's not your property, is crazy weirdo behavior.
Someone just texted in, so do you swim with shoes on? No, obviously not, but I'm going to assume that you might be the kind of person who does not wear sandals in the change room.
Honestly, depending if I'm going to the lake, I'll buy some water shoes.
Sure. But I was at the gym this morning. The amount of people that walk through there barefoot.
Yeah. The change room is one thing. Like, if you're walking to the shower, to the sauna, or whatever, you should probably still be wearing sandals just because it's a gross environment.
Yeah, I saw a dude this morning literally get out of the shower and then go to the urinal and take a pee.
Oh! Oh!
And I was like, that's so counterproductive right now, man.
Right back in the shower. Get right back in the shower and wash your damn feet again.
Oh, God.
Oh, that's horrific.
Oh, man. Anyone who plays hockey can attest to this. Those dressing rooms are so gnarly, man.
Yeah,
You got to keep some flip-flops in your bag. And then I know everyone always has the argument with, like, well, you don't clean your flip-flops. They always just go back in your bag. Yeah, well, still, it's cleaner than the floor.
That's just it. I can guarantee you there's never been a pair of sandals I've owned that has been dirtier than a gym floor.
There is no reason to ever take your shoes off in public, and you cannot change my mind on that.
Yeah, I think the one thing the guy tried to call you out on is if you're going swimming. That's it. Congratulations, you found the one loophole.
Yeah, and
there
even
are no others.
And let's get real, going swimming in a public pool is very questionable as well.
Well, I think all the urine sterilizes the water.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast.
Ed's word of the day.
See what he's got.
Good morning. Today's word is taradiddle. Yep, taradiddle. 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 And it's a small lie, a fib, or pretentious nonsense. So basically BS, I guess. I don't know. Anyways, that's about it. Cheers up. Have a great one.
Taradiddle.
Taradiddle.
It is not a perverted pterodactyl, but he is right. It's on Merriam-Webster's dictionary there.
Taradiddle.
Sorry. How do you even think of these things? Basically, it's just a whopper, right? Like, this is just, you're just lying for sport if you're taradiddling.
Yeah, you're fibbing or pretentious nonsense, it says. So, I mean, honestly, it's a fun word to use, taradiddle.
It sounds a lot, like, I feel like you're also, sometimes when you go to call someone a liar, you're kind of on eggshells because you're not trying to start a fight, right? I feel like taradiddle, it just has less oomph to it. Like
That's
it's
a bunch
more,
of taradiddle.
Yeah, you're taradiddling on that one. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you're less likely to inspire someone to be like, what'd you say to me?
Unless your name is Tara, then it's very confusing.
Well, that's an awkward conversation for everybody in the room.
Yes, very confusing right away. Call someone a taradiddler today. I think that would make for an interesting conversation at work.
Yeah. Somebody comes in late and they got a bad excuse for what took them so long. Listen, cut the taradiddling and just tell us where you were.
Yeah, you're going to go pick up some stuff for work or whatever. Maybe all the lumber's late or whatever, and they're giving you some BS excuses. Just be like, you guys are always taradiddling around here.
The hubby, the boyfriend's coming home later than expected. Listen, stop taradiddling and just tell me you went for a beer with the boys.
Taradiddle, taradiddle, taradiddle. Use it wherever you can, all right?
For more Brock and Dalby, tune in weekday mornings 5:30 to 9.
The Brock and Dalby Podcast is brought to you by badshop.ca, the Brock and Dalby merch store. With all proceeds going to the Canadian Cancer Society.